Welcome to Via the Grapevine, proudly brought to you by Tony da Costa of LiquorCity, Claremont, and offering you the chance to learn more about wine, the masters behind them, and even which wines to collect. You are hereby invited to rediscover Cape Town's northerly countryside through the fruit of its vineyards as we celebrate International Sauvignon Blanc Day on Friday, May 7. The Durbanville Wine Valley ranks as one of the region's premier destinations and one of the best Sauvignon Blanc growing regions on the continent. There's actually a competition being hosted right now on the Durbanville Wine Valley's Instagram account. And it just shows how much my guests today's wines are loved because every name that's coming up in terms of the competition is name your favorite winery is Diemersdal, Diemersdal, Diemersdal. So from Diemersdal Wine Estate, co-owner and cellar master Thys Louw, welcome to Via the Grapevine, sir.
Thank you, Guy. Good morning.
How did harvest go for you this year? Are you happy with the quality of the grapes that came in?
Yes, no, it was a fantastic harvest. It was a late harvest, so it was slow ripening, fantastic for whites and red, and most important, the quantities was also sufficient.
Would you say that this latest harvest is going to rank up in the regions of the 2015s and the 2017s, or how does it feel?
Definitely, especially on the reds. I mean, it was a low hanging, it was a long hanging period. And I mean, there wasn't any heat waves at all that forced any grapes to ripen earlier.
Brilliant. So to Diemersdal, 6 generations of Louws practiced the art of winemaking at Diemersdal since the estate passed into their hands in 1885. No pressure on you then, hey, Thys? Yes. Share with us a little on the heritage of the estate, please.
Yeah, no, so it was granted out, the estate was granted out. Look, Durbanville, first of all, Durbanville is the second oldest wine producing region in South Africa after Constantia. So we, so Diemersdal was always part of the wine valley. So it started in 1698 by Simon van der Stel, and he granted it to Captain Diemer. And then there was a few owners between Captain Diemer and the Louws. So we bought the farm in 1885, and I'm the 6th generations. And in the old days, it was, Durbanville and Diemersdal was a mixed farming community of cattle, wheat, wine, vegetables, and everything. And now most of the farms are just concentrating on grapes and making wine. And that's what we, as on Diemersdal, is also just doing. I mean, wine is 100% our business.
Yeah. And I want to talk specifically of your Sauvignon Blanc business today, because I don't think I've come across a farm with such an impressive array of one particular variety. So that's our conversation focus for today, really. But you obviously form part of the Wine of Origin Cape Town, where we've been told that cooling mists from the Atlantic Ocean apparently roll over the vineyards every afternoon. Is that still happening with global warming? And how does this and your terroir contribute to that unique character of Diemersdal wines?
Yeah, look, I mean, Cape Town, Wine of Origin Cape Town, then especially Durbanville, I think what's making us unique is the proximity to the ocean. But wine, and especially Sauvignon Blanc, the most important for good Sauvignons, cool night temperatures. And that's why, like, New Zealand is very successful. It's not about the day temperature, it's about the night temperature. And it doesn't necessarily have to be very close to the ocean. If you look at Sancerre, which is very cool in France, they are a few hundred kilometers from an ocean. If you look at our coolest town, Sutherland, they are 3 hours from the ocean. So it just all depends on night temperatures and obviously the day temperature also not being too high. But I think what's making us unique, we have very, very, very fertile soils in Durbanville. Really, really. I mean, the majority of the vineyards are still dryland. Us at Diemersdal is 100%. I'm a firm believer of dryland vineyards. And
let's just confirm for the viewer what that means. Dryland means no irrigation. Is that correct?
So we don't irrigate anything at all. It's all rain. I believe when you when you irrigate, you start to influence in the terroir, and if you put water, you start to dilute. That is my seeing on it. I mean, there's a lot of opinions about it, but it has worked for us over many, many years. And our yields are still high because we've got sufficient rainfall and good soils in the whole of the valley. And that's one thing that we will always be proud of, is being a dryland farm.
That's fantastic. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of our chat, we celebrate International Sauvignon Blanc Day on Friday, May 7. And the Durbanville Wine Valley ranks as one of the best Sauvignon Blanc growing regions on the continent. With all the different slopes, what do you believe is the common denominator between all 15 wineries that gives this area this ranking? Is it literally the soil?
It's a soil, the climate, the expertise in the wine valley. Remember, I mean, there's the first vineyards that was planted here was in the 1680s. So remember, there's over 300 years of knowledge in the valley that stays in the valley. That, I mean, stuff that my father learned from his father and from his father. I mean, and that's all the knowledge passing down over generations in the valley. And I mean, that has always worked. So we, you know, after 300 years, I think the people know what to plant, when to plant, and at what slope to plant. And obviously with a lot of technology, I mean, we know where to plant what. But most important, I mean, you can have all the technology and all the knowledge, but if you don't have the good soils and the good macro and microclimates, I mean, it's not going to work. Where in Durbanville, we've got everything. I mean, we're very fortunate to have it.
So to your wines, your award-winning wines, firstly, congratulations on that gold medal at the 2021 Concours Mondial du Sauvignon competition for your 2019 The Journal. Absolutely sensational. What do you believe sets that particular Sauvignon Blanc apart from the other seven expressions of the grape that you do?
Yeah, so this one is was fermented in 600-liter Austrian oak stocking barrels, 50%, and the other 50% was fermented in and aged in clay pots. And it's from a very old vineyard. I mean, the vineyard was planted in 92, so it's 29-year-old, which is old for South African Sauvignon vineyard. You don't find that very often.
Are you part of the Old Vine project? Because I know you've got vines that are even older than that.
Yes, so we are part of that, yes.
Okay. And obviously there's a lot to be said for those older vines and the quality of grape that they produce, as you've just mentioned. So it sounds like there's a lot of diversity that you're able to offer. And that's why you offer so many different ranges of Sauvignon Blanc. I have to share very quickly that I had the opportunity to taste, as you mentioned earlier about Constantia, but to taste Sauvignon Blancs from Constantia, and it was quite refreshing to not just get immediate pyrazine notes. There was so much diversity, and I think that's the wonderful things about just your farm alone. You offer so many different noses. So let's start with the one that I've been gifted. Thank you very much for this particular one. It's the Estate Reserve Sauvignon Blanc. Just get it in front of the camera. 2020. And can you tell us just a little bit more about this particular wine, Thys?
Yes, so let's start at the top. I mean, you mentioned now pyrazine. So just to stick on that for a bit, when I started on the farm, I think 15 years ago, I mean, I hated pyrazines, and I still don't like it at all.
Thank you.
It's there, but we need to get rid of it. So we've done a lot of effort in the vineyards and in the cellar to get pyrazines out. I like more the thiols, which is your passion fruit, your guava, your figs, your nice summer fruit, and cassius and black currant leaves, and that's more the style that I'm trying to go minerality instead of the pyrazines. I mean, the pyrazines, when it age, I mean, you get asparagus and canned peas. I mean, who wants that in a glass of wine? So we do a lot of effort in the vineyards. Like a lot. So we've got a few of these machines that's just after flowering, we remove 40% from the first 40 centimeters of the vine. We remove all the leaves from both sides. So you just see literally the bunches there. And by the end of December, it's closed again. But in that time, if you get a lot of sun on the bunches, it's converting the pyrazines into thiols. And so we've got Sauvignons that the pyrazines are under 10 nanograms a liter. So I mean, the general consumer won't know what that is, but that's very low in terms of your green flavors in the wine, which I'm not a big fan of. So yeah, this Sauvignon Blanc Reserve 2020 is from 2 blocks. One block is 400 meters above sea level, and it was planted in 2007. And the other block is an older block, which was planted in 96. And then it's a combination of the 2 blocks together. We do everything in a harvest, a Sauvignon Blanc harvest by machine at night. And we give some skin contact, or some don't get skin contact. And then we settle it out for 48 hours. And then we just ferment it and keep it as long as possible on the fermentation lees and stir it up weekly as necessary. So this is just a very good example of a New World Sauvignon. Very fruity, bomb, tropical, with a good balanced, big mouthfeel.
A nice minerality that comes through on the nose already. I mean, I haven't even tasted it yet.
That's the old block that we have. That's the old block. I mean, the older Sauvignon Blanc vineyards are getting the more minerality showing.
Oh, beautiful mouthfeel, because you've got that lovely, there's the acidity now starting to come through. So you get that lovely round mouthfeel initially, fruit flavors.
And that you're getting from stirring the lees quite regularly. And it's, if there's a high acid, which Sauvignon sometimes have, it just generally like reduces the acid without you knowing it.
Thys, this has been one of the most wonderful couple of weeks for me, because I have to admit that, I feel like as a person who's learning about wine, you go through different waves of passion. So you taste particular wines and you're always having to keep tasting. So Sauvignon Blanc was one of the earliest wines that I first tasted, and you kind of make opinions in your mind. Sauvignon Blanc was fine. Chardonnay I loved. Chenin I wasn't sure about at all. That's subsequently changed with the experience that I've gained over the last couple of years. But I feel like I'm revisiting an old lover who is actually showing, and it's thanks to people like yourself and the innovation that you're employing, but is showing a completely different side to them. And I'm falling in love again. And that's a wonderful thing, because there is so much that Sauvignon Blanc can offer. And I think that's the sad thing, is that a lot of people, a lot of consumers have got this impression that it's just going to be high acid, it's going to be green, you're going to get green pepper and asparagus and whatever on the nose. And they don't realize just how fruity and how beautifully structured these wines can be made. Yeah. So yeah, credit to you for that.
Yeah. Guy, look, it depends on who is criticizing the wine. I mean, if you look at the sales figure in South Africa and in the world, Sauvignon Blanc is just, we're not flying at we're flying at 200 miles an hour. If you look at the sales, I mean, where the other varieties are not even close to that. And the funny enough is, like, the average price on Sauvignon Blanc is by far the highest from any variety. If you go and look at the country that's selling the highest average price per bottle in the world, it's New Zealand. Why do they sell 95% of Sauvignon? So, I mean, it's simple.
You're always striving for innovation. In 2017, you launched a wine made from frozen grape juice. You were the first farm in South Africa that planted Groener Veltliner.
Groener Veltliner, yeah.
Veltliner. Groener Veltliner.
The national Austrian grape. It's Austrian
Yes.
national grape. Yes.
And many may not know this, but you actually also invented the Sauvignon Rosé. So, wow. Is there anything we must keep our eyes open for in 2021?
Yeah, there's a few new things coming out.
But you're not going to hint.
No, we must still get the labels and the names. The wine is here.
Okay.
It's going to be funky.
Will it be, can I push you to say, will it be Sauvignon Blanc related?
Yes, and red wine related.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we focused completely on the Sauvignon Blancs, and maybe it would be a bit of an unfair question to ask you because it's your babies. But if you were to choose just 3 of the 7, is it 7 or 8? It's 8 in total, isn't it?
No, it's much more. I mean, if you have the overseas brands, it's like 14, 15.
So if you were to choose,
we've got a market for all the wines. We've got each wine is a different category, different story, and a different price point. So
no, what I mean is in terms of the Sauvignon Blancs, there's
about 15.
Is it about 15 that you offer?
Yeah.
Thys, choose 3 for me that best represent your passion for the grape. Which 3 would you highlight as?
So I will definitely go with the 8 rows, which we've been producing for 15 years, only from 8 rows, and it's like really old school Sancerre style. I really like it. New World style, it's definitely the winter ferment and then the barrel fermented. We've got 2. We've got the wild horseshoe and we've got the journal. So I'll take the journal, and so it's 8 rows, winter ferment, and the journal.
Brilliant. And besides the award-winning wine, what are some of the other reasons to visit Diemersdal Wine Estate?
No, look, we've got a nice restaurant serving great food, and I mean we've got a offering of all the wines in the tasting room. We're close to the city, and we 4 kilometers outside center CBD Durbanville, and I mean like all the farms are close to CBD Durbanville, so it's really nice to visit. I mean there's 15 fantastic farms, each with a unique offering, and it's really worth to visit each and every one of them.
Excellent. I know you've got a lot to do. I can imagine you've got a busy day ahead, so I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I just want to give some quick fire questions. You can give me 1-word answers if you want. The first one will be, what's your favorite variety to drink?
White Sauvignon, red Cabernet.
Boom, there it is. Your most memorable wine tasting experience, Thys?
Oh, it was in the Maton Rothschild cellar a few years ago.
And bushveld or beach?
Beach.
Okay. And then lastly, is there a hidden talent that we should know about? What is it?
I asked Steffi beforehand what I should answer, because I mean I don't have any. And she reminded me that I was about for 8 years. I had national colors for water skiing. Yeah, and still today we ski a lot with the kids now. I mean I'm a bit not as in shape as I used to be, so I struggle, but I still ski with them, and all of them can ski. I've got a son that's 10, a daughter of 7, and a son of 4, and all 3 of them can ski already. So yeah, we do that a lot.
That's fantastic. And where do you go out to? Do you go out to Bullshoek, or where do you ski?
We go a lot to Bullshoek. We've got a house in Britannia Bay, so we ski on the ocean, but it's a nice big bay.
Oh wow!
And we've got our neighboring farm has got a big dam which is lying dormant. So it's a big dam. So we go there after work. Yeah. So.
So you're the man that can slalom and do jumps and all that. I'm still trying to drop a ski.
Yeah, no, that is my older son. We've taught him over the holidays how to drop the ski, so he can at least now drop the ski. So yeah, it's just practice, like everything. You need to practice.
We had a friend that was trying to do it, and his girlfriend was on the boat with us, and he spent the entire holiday trying to do it. And we said to him, "Listen, you either drop a ski or you drop a knee."
Yeah.
So, funny how quickly he learned to drop the ski.
Yeah.
This week we feature a fantastic deal on 3 Diemersdal wines on viathegrapevine.co.za. We've got the Diemersdal Sauvignon Blanc 2021, the new vintage. And that's available for you at tasting room price of 75 Rand. We've got the Diemersdal Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc 2020 and the Diemersdal The Journal Sauvignon Blanc 2020. So some fantastic prices on those wines available. Hit the Wine with Guy button when you head to viathegrapevine.co.za to buy at those fantastic prices. Otherwise, you can get along to LiquorCity Claremont and buy a full range of Diemersdal wines. If you fancy your luck, then answer the easy question right here on the Via the Grapevine page, and you could win a mixed case of 6 bottles of Sauvignon Blanc wines from 6 different Durbanville wineries. This, of course, ahead of the Durbanville Wine Valley celebrating Sauvignon Blanc Day on the 7th of May. Thys Louw, thank you for your time today, sir. It's been a privilege to chat with you.
Thank you. Take care.
This Via the Grapevine was brought to you by LiquorCity Claremont. Visit their wine emporium for a journey via the Grapevine.